All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. We got a couple games on today's NBA slate. It is Sunday, December 4th here, and yeah, we had a positive night last night. We go 2-1 in our final plays here. Our ride of the day doesn't hit, so that does take a little bit of a sting here. But in terms of our plays yesterday, we did have the Knicks plus 1.5. That pick looked pretty damn good, and then all of a sudden, they stunk it out of the ballpark in that third quarter, continued into the fourth there. We had the Kings, got them early at plus 1.5. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard ruled out. They didn't need that anyways, though. Plus 1.5. They ended up, I think, finishing the line at, or the closing line was -3. Still covered that easily. And then we had our teaser, which I've been loving teasers lately. I didn't really do many teasers last year, but we're killing it. 80% this month on teasers. We had a 5-point teaser, Bucks -1, and then the Magic we teased up to plus 15.5, and that cashed. Getting back in the green, guys. We've been working towards it, but yeah, unfortunately our ride of the day does not come through for my man Justin, one of the OGs on the channel, always in the comments, so I always respect the plays, and this one was a good spot. Jalen Brunson, I think he went under in his last game, right? Then he plays his team. I think this is the first time he played the Mavs, and he just couldn't get it done. So yeah, he's just a product of how the Knicks sort of collapsed in that game, because I think that he was well on his way heading into the second half. But yeah, the ride of the day does not come through, guys. If you do want to be the ride of the day, all you have to use is hashtag ride of the day in the comments and give me an absolute lock, and I'll be jumping on board with one person's play, and then you guys will get a shout out in the next video, win or loss. Before we get into these slates, guys, I'm asking you guys to smash that like button and hit the subscribe button. We went positive last night. Can we get some subscribes and likes for that? We're so damn close to 13,000 subscribers, which is absolutely awesome. So hit that subscribe button, guys, and like the video. It helps other people discover, and we can continue to build this awesome community. And speaking of the community, guys, thank you guys so much to the ballers. And if you do want to become a baller, which is the members on the channel, guys, if you do want to become a baller, $2.99 a month, you guys get access to our models, our player points model, our spread model, and our total model that we put out daily via Google Sheets, so everyone can access it. So $2.99 a month, one way to support the channel, and you know, you get these models that you can incorporate in your research, all in the green this season. We keep track of the record and everything like that. So yeah, guys, let's jump into this slate. A couple good spots here. We're starting it off with Denver taking on New Orleans here. New Orleans at home, they're 1-point favorites. Total is 230.5. New Orleans 12-10 on the year against the spread, 7-3 in their last 10 games against the spread, and Denver also playing well against the spread, 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games here. The last time these two teams played was way back in, I think, early March last season in New Orleans, and Denver put up 1,000,000 points. So I'm wondering if that's the reason why this total is so high. It was 138 to 130 last time they played. I do lean the under in the total, not really going to touch it. But what I will say is that this New Orleans team seems to be playing good basketball. You're going to want to keep an eye on the injury report. Brandon Ingram's still questionable, but I doubt he plays. I feel like every time we see that, he's ended up out. But I do like New Orleans in this one, -1 at home. I'm going to lean that way. Very, very slight lean, guys. Keep an eye on the pinned comment, like I always say, for the final plays. I don't think this game ends up ultimately becoming a final play, but I think I'm going to lean New Orleans in this one. I do think that they should be, you know, maybe 2.5 to 3-point favorites at home in this one, even without Brandon Ingram. So I'm leaning that way, but guys, keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if it becomes a final play. All right, we got the Spurs hosting the Suns here. Spurs getting 10 points at home. Total is 230 in this one. This Suns team's kind of puzzling, right? This Suns team is puzzling me as of late here. They go and lose to Houston after winning 6 games in a row. They're recovering most of those games as well, and San Antonio is just absolutely sucking. So this is a spot where I'm like, okay, do the Suns drop another easy game, or do they come out angry after that Houston game? So I'm going to lean the Suns -10. For whatever reason, I'm getting a bad feeling about this game in my gut. So I don't know if I actually end up touching this one, but I do think that the Suns, you know, they have to, right? They have to be angry after losing to Houston, and you know, coming into another game now where they're double-digit spread favorites in this one. I think that they have to come and go balls to the wall and absolutely try and blow out San Antonio. San Antonio's still going to be out without Jakob Poeltl, and Josh Richardson is questionable. Doug McDermott has been downgraded to doubtful. They're absolutely stinking it up. Like I said, they've only covered 1 game in their last 10. They're 1-8-1 in their last 10 against the spread. And this Suns team was playing really good basketball before that sort of drop to Houston. So I'm going to lean Suns -10 in here. I just don't love that. You know, I got a weird feeling about it for whatever reason. The total is 230 in this one. I could see this one getting upwards of 235 and so on. So I'm going to lean the over as well. All right, guys, Sacramento taking on the Chicago Bulls. Sacramento, 2.5-point favorites at home. Bulls, 9-13 straight up, 10-11-1 against the spread. The covering Kings, 14-7 against the spread. They've just been playing really good basketball. In their last 10 games here, 7-3 straight up. And when they are at home, 5-1. The Bulls aren't the best away team either. They're 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 games against the spread there. But the under kind of looks appetizing here. 10 of the last 15 games that Chicago has been in has gone under. And Sacramento, 4 of their last 6 games have gone under. So I do think that these are two teams that can definitely put up points. You know, Sacramento is a recipe for overs this season, but I kind of like the under this one. And it happens to be the highest total on the board. So we're already kind of, you know, that's in our favor. So 239, 239.5, whatever you can get it at. I do think that I like the under in this one. In terms of a lean, I'm going to lean my way towards Sacramento here. They've just been playing really good basketball. They went on a stretch of losing 3 straight games, but tough competition. Atlanta, Boston, and then Phoenix. You know, and then they come back and do kind of pulverize Indiana, and they pulverize the Clippers. So they're showing that they are, you know, able to play. The only thing that I want to, you know, make sure that isn't going to be the case here is going to be any sort of injuries due to the back-to-back that they're on after playing the Clippers last night. So if anyone gets ruled out, they do have a young team. I don't expect anyone to get ruled out, but that's going to probably change the lean here. But I like Sacramento by at least 3 points in this game, and I also like the under. Keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if that becomes a final play. And I also wanted to talk to you guys. We're over on TikTok now. We've gained, like, you know, shout out to you guys, but I think we've gained like 600 followers in just a couple days. We're posting our prize picks plays, which, guys, if you want to use prize picks, check out the link in the description. You can get your first deposit matched 100% up to $100. We went 6 for 6. Actually, no, one guy didn't play in our slip last night, so we went 5 for 5 in a 6-player flex play. It knocks it down to a 5-player flex play payout. But yeah, we 10 times our money last night on one slip. I think I only put like $20 to make $200 on it, but I'll take that any day of the week. We went 6 for 6 in our plays over there. So shout out to the people that were commenting saying, I'm tailing this. And then shout out to the haters that were like, this is stupid play. And then we go 100% on the slip. Guys, check out our TikTok. We got the username on the banner at some point in the bottom here. But let's keep this one going here. Let's keep the train on the tracks. Detroit hosting Memphis here. Detroit only getting 7 points. I was kind of surprised by this line, if I'm being completely honest, but Steven Adams is questionable. We still don't have any update on Desmond Bane here. Then for Detroit, Cade Cunningham is out, but no other, and Livers downgraded to out here, but we have no other injury updates there. Detroit did get the win against Dallas on the second or the first, one of the last couple days here. In a high-scoring game, 131 to 125 was the only game on the slate, right? So I do think that Detroit's playing better basketball, but 7 points seems like a little bit too little to give Detroit. I know they're at home. I know that matters, but I'm going to lean Memphis here -7. This might be a great game to throw into a teaser as well to get Memphis down to like -2, maybe -2.5. So keep an eye on that. I'm also going to look at the over here. I don't love how high the number is, but Memphis plays up-tempo basketball. 5 of the last 7 games have gone over, and I don't think Detroit's defense is really good enough to stop Memphis. So I'm going to lean the over in this one as well. Detroit, I think the second to last defense in terms of points allowed this season. And it's not like Memphis has the best defense either. They're on the bottom half of the league too. So I'm going to lean the over in this one as well. But I do like the idea of Memphis being teased down to like 2.5. All right, Washington Wizards hosting the Lakers here. Washington, 2-point favorites. They are 9-12-2 against the spread this season. And Los Angeles, 9-12 against the spread this season here. The Lakers, though, 4-1 in the last 5 games against spread. 4-1 straight up, in fact. But they're 5-13 in the last 18 games against Washington. So, though the Wizards are just not playing really good basketball, 1-7-1 in their last 9 against the spread, it is interesting that they've kind of had the Lakers number. The Lakers also 4-11 straight up in their last 15 games on the road. Like always, LeBron James is questionable. Anthony Davis is questionable for Washington here. No new injuries to update here. I'm going to lean the home team. I know the Lakers have kind of been red hot, relatively speaking, but the Washington Wizards have had their number, and this Lakers team is just not the same at home as they are on the road. They're 3-6 this season on the road. In their last 10 games, though, they're playing a little bit better, but I kind of want to just fade them one last time. You know, we definitely worked our way out of the just consistently fade the Lakers strategy because they start to cover games, right? Like, they were terrible at the beginning of the year. Now they're 9-12 against the spread. That doesn't sound like much, but when you look at what they've done in the last 10 games, they've definitely turned a corner. 7-3 against the spread. So, yet again, we're going to fade the Lakers, but I just think that's because they're on the road. All right, New York, 3-point dogs at home, taking on the Cavaliers here. The Cavs 13, 8, and 12 against spread, 15 and 8 straight up here. New York 9, 12, and 2 against spread, 10 and 13 straight up. These two teams played this season, October 30th here. Cleveland won 121 to 108. Cleveland's playing decent basketball, 7 and 2 straight up in their last 9 games, 4 and 2 in their last 6 against New York when it comes to against the spread. Injuries worth noting: Jared Allen again downgraded to out. No injuries for New York here, so Jared Allen could be a huge miss for this Cleveland team. They were able to, do without him. I believe he didn't play against Orlando, and the Knicks got embarrassed yesterday in the third and fourth quarter against the Mavericks. They were at home. I could see the Knicks bouncing back in this one, so I'm gonna slide. You know what? I'm not even gonna give you a play here. I don't want to force one just to make a lean on the game. You can, if someone in the comments is a great play on this game, let me know. But I don't even want to say that I lean Knicks or lean Cavs. This one I could see going either way. In fact, I do think that this one is gonna ultimately be a very, very close game. My model, peel back the curtain, says the Knicks should actually be 4-point dogs, not 3. That's a pretty damn close margin. So I'm gonna stick away from the spread in this one. What I do really like is the total 222.5. I could see this one getting up there and going over for sure. I could see both these teams being able to score, 114. I could see this being a 114 to 111 type of a game, meaning it's right there on the spread line, right? But ultimately going over. So I'm gonna lean the over in this one. Apologies, we don't even have really a slight lean on the spread. All right, Nets 3-point dogs at home, taking on my Boston Celtics, who are just on a tear right now. I know they lost to Miami, but good teams still lose. 18 and 5 straight up, 14 and 9 against the spread. Brooklyn having a positive year straight up so far, 13 and 11, 12 and 12 against the spread. The total is 232 here. The Celtics team has been absolutely crushing overs. We know that. This season they're 14 and 9 to the overs here. And when they're on the road, though, it actually leans under, 3 and 7 when they're on the road. At home, they're 11 and 2. So this is a team that goes off when they're on the road here. Goes off when they're at home, but then keeps things a little bit tighter at home. So I do look at that high total of 232 and say, I think I'm going to lean the under here. The only thing that keeps me away from the potential of that is that Brooklyn's defense, pretty much since Kyrie Irving has come back, has just been really, really poor. And when I say poor, I guess I'm saying relatively speaking to where they were at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, they were like the #1 points against team, and now they're moving out of the top 10, working their way out of the top 10. So I could see this being, easily going over, but I think I am going to lean the under, in fact. And I just think that that's because the Celtics, they don't score as many points, it looks like, on the road here, even though they're #1 offense in the NBA. And I'm also going to lean the Celtics -3. I think that they bounce back after that Miami win. I do think that, we got the whole Kyrie thing and everything like that. But I lean the Celtics in this one, actually, -3 points. I think it's a fair spread. And I'm not being biased there, guys. All the haters out there being like, you only pick Boston. I tell you if I'm going to make a bias pick. I'm transparent about that. This one I truly don't think is the ultimate bias pick. I think that if you look at these two teams on paper, I think that this is the type of game where the Celtics can cover 3 points. All right, last game of the night, we have the Trailblazers hosting the Indiana Pacers here. These are two of the teams that, come back down to earth, I guess, a little bit, but two of the surprising teams here in terms of record and against the spread. So the Trailblazers at home here, favored by 3 points, 232.5 is the total, 12 and 11 straight up, 14 and 9 against the spread. And the Pacers on the other side, 12 and 10 and 13 and 9 in terms of their straight up and against the spread record here. These two teams, like I said, they're kind of underrated. In the last 10 games, though, they've been going in opposite directions. 6 and 4 straight up for the Pacers, 3 and 7 straight up for the Trailblazers. Now, Damian Lillard has been banged up. I'll give it to him there. He's now upgraded to questionable. Josh Hart's questionable. Drew Eubanks questionable. Gary Payton is questionable here, so keep an eye on all of those injury reports here. Tyrese Halliburton also questionable. That team runs on Halliburton. America runs on Duncan. Well, Indiana runs on Halliburton, so keep an eye on that injury report. Portland's coming off of a win to Utah, and actually the day before, Indiana's coming off a pretty bad loss to Utah. So I think that Indiana does come out here with a little bit more fire. As long as Halliburton plays, I think 3 points is a little bit too much to give them. And like I talked about that game earlier, Memphis versus Detroit, this is a good spot for a teaser. So don't be surprised if you see in my final plays in the pin comment, Pacers, +8 teased with the Memphis Grizzlies -2 or 2.5, that type of thing. So keep an eye on the pin comment for that. But I do think that this game at least stays close. In terms of a total, 232, I think this one that goes under just slightly. So that's going to be a slight lean for me there. But that's going to be my plays for today, guys. That's all I have for you guys. Hopefully you guys do go and check out the TikTok. We're on fire over on Prize Picks, and we do have that promo code if you do want to sign up for Prize Picks. It's one of the most fun betting daily fantasy sport things that I've done ever since getting into this space, which was years and years ago. So guys, check out Prize Picks if you have not yet. It's super, super easy and definitely really, really fun. So make sure to go check that out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.